Hey everyone, just a heads up. This episode is something. Travis, his everything broke. Everything broke for Travis. Audio, video, everything's terrible. So I'm recording this before I start the editing, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be rough for Travis. I don't know how much video or audio of his will be in the final episode. I'm going to try to work some magic. But hopefully I'm able to salvage the majority of the conversation was between Keith, Tom, and myself. So hopefully I can edit something that sounds good. But video wise, it may just be a static image of Travis. So enjoy that. But buckle up, have fun with the ride. Because it was a fun conversation. I hope everybody else gets to enjoy it. So thanks for listening and enjoy the episode.
The Pinball Network is online. Launching
Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
All right. Episode 45. We're cruising right along. This should be our December episode, which is awesome. End of the year. Should be a good time. Hopefully a lot of people traveling for holidays and whatnot. So, we decided to get a guest, a good guest. And we got a great one. So we have an extra ball on the episode tonight. Keith, are you excited? You ready for this?
I've been waiting this my whole life.
Oh, perfect. Keith, I want everybody. Tom, how you feeling? You good?
Real good.
You look great. That new cameraman. And Travis, what's up?
As long as my stuff keeps working, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Travis is in his new house in his basement, so the chances of his audio and video working this entire episode are very, very small.
It's zero. Let's just get to the intro, Joel. Let's just go.
All right. Perfect. And here we go.
We're three guys who like to talk pinball, so we came up with a clever name. We're Joel and Travis Tom who talk pinball, and we call ourselves Triple Drain. We're Triple Drain.
There we go. Isn't it? Doesn't it just? I love it. Just gets you pumped up, ready to go.
I'm ready for tournament talk, Joel. Let's just get to it. Yeah.
Let's go. So, speaking of which, this is the end of the year. Twippy season is always what pops into my mind about this time. And apparently, the Twippies, when voting opens for the Twippies, it goes with the Pinball Promoters database. So, believe it or not, Triple Drain is part of the Pinball Promoters database. So, I thought, you know what? Let me look if we have any reviews on our podcast. We have three. We have three reviews so far. Three big old reviews. One from Doug. Of all the 2+ hour podcasts, this one's the best. Sweet. Triple Drains do a great job covering the industry. News is entertaining manner. Pretty sure in real life they don't actually like each other. I cannot confirm or deny.
That is true.
Okay. Yep. Second one from Josh. Freaking amazing. Joel, Tom, and Travis do a great job of making the industry news and tournament talk interesting. They play off each other well, and the show is very well done. Sweet. But this is it. This is our oldest review from Marino. Great podcast. Love the podcast. Entertaining. Kill the tournament talk. Boring. So there we go. So that's who we are. So we thought, let's double down on that. Tournament talk. Here we go. Let's get arguably the best tournament player of all time on the podcast. Keith, you are here, and we are ready to hear everything. Just share all your wisdom and all your tournament talk, please.
Oh yeah, since 1993.
1993. Perfect. Well, wonderful. No, we've got some fun stuff to talk about. Let's back up a little bit. One thing I consider myself a tournament player now. And the reason I do consider myself a tournament player is I was in an intense head-to-head battle with Neil McRae. I flew across the ocean. I was in the Domino Arcade, which is his thing, and he challenged me to a 9-game tournament, best of 9. We streamed it. It was intense. And now I just feel like I'm right with you. The four of us are just twins at this point. I mean, because I won. I'm a tournament champion. And it feels good.
Where's your trophy?
Where's my trophy? I don't. Yep. Neil did not. He did not give me a trophy. But it's the victory's still there, and it feels good. I will say, honestly though, this is the first time that I've experienced you got to play the game and you got to play it well. But the picking the game, there's strategy with that. Like so much strategy there. And when you talk about running out of picks Or what do you do? Because he said it's home court advantage, so I get to pick the games. Game 1, I went Monster Bash. Nice game to warm up on. Even playing field. I actually did really well on that. I copied his. I said after his ball 1, what are you doing? He goes, I always do creature first. So, okay, looks like I'm doing creature first. That's what so did that, ended up winning that. Then I went to turtles, went to my bread and butter. I know Neil hates turtles. Stomped him on it. Crushed it.
So wait. He hates turtles, but he owns it?
He owns turtles, and he owns turtles. His view was he owns turtles because nobody has it. It's a great game to learn for tournaments because when it comes up to tournaments, people are afraid of it. I don't know. Keith, you afraid of turtles? You like turtles?
I barely played it.
Barely played it. I mean, if you need I love it.
That's just having FU money when you're like, I don't really like this game, but I'm going to get the LE shipped overseas and just have it. Okay.
Yep. So what I've learned is if for whatever reason I'm in a head-to-head battle with Keith Elwin, I'm picking turtles. I'm picking turtles.
Pretty much any modern game you can pick. I don't know the rules.
Oh, yours. I'm not picking yours.
Yes, well, mine I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we're going to talk about modern gaming rules because I have some thoughts on your thoughts on that. But pick turtles, beat them on that. Then I went to Deadpool. These are all games I know, all games I've owned. Deadpool had, I'm not going to call it a house ball, but like I barely flipped the game. It was bad. Got beaten
What'd
Deadpool.
You have ball saves
and now I'm
turned
starting
off?
to run out of picks. Now I'm starting to run out of picks of stuff that I'm confident with. And fast forward, the deciding game, it was 4-4. My last game, the game that I picked that I actually won on was Jurassic Park. And it was a game that I've streamed. Keith, I've streamed it. You've seen me stream it. You've probably watched it for about 30 seconds because when my brother and I streamed Jurassic Park, we got lit up. That game kicked our butt. But I had my best game of Jurassic Park ever playing Niels in a tournament. And there's just something completely different when you play a game and you shift your mentality of progression to just, I need points. I need safe shots and I need points. And who would have guessed I got my highest scoring game of all time? But I beat Neil on Jurassic Park. It was a great feeling. And now I'm a tournament winner.
What was your score?
I don't want to talk about it.
You said you got your highest score of all time.
It was higher than Neil's. I would have to.
But it was your high score.
Yeah, what was
your
it?
highest score?
I don't know. I'd have to pull up and talk amongst yourselves if you really care. It was less than $1 billion.
Should we guess what it was?
Sure. Guess epic pillow fight. No, Neil, it was vicious, brutal. There were, close to bloodshed without it, but it was great. But I'm just telling you, I'm trying to relate. I'm trying to relate to the three of you where I'm saying what started stressing me out was running out of picks, really hoping I had it in the bag with my first 3 or 4 picks and then started losing games that I was confident I was going to win on. And then I was purposely looking at games like I know Neil's a Bond, like loves Bond. So I'm not picking Bond. There's no way I'm picking Bond. And it just that head space of trying to understand what your opponents are doing or what they want to play.
So you're saying that you don't pick to your strengths. You pick.
I did pick to my strengths, but I ran out of strengths. I ran out of them. Yeah. So is that, I don't know, maybe that's a good question for the three of you. I mean, do you guys always stick to, I want to play the game that I want to play? Or are you thinking, I just need to pick a game I know that person doesn't or hates? Like, I don't know, we'll start with Keith. Why not? Or does it matter? Just whatever.
Not my normal strategy. No, I always pick what I'm comfortable playing. If I don't care, like if it's a toss-up between games, I might do that.
Yeah. So I know what I've witnessed is this younger generation, the Eschers, the Z-Max, Jared August. I'm forgetting people for sure. They crush these modern Sterns. And so it seems to me that most people, if they're going to play head-to-head, they're going to try to avoid a modern Stern as much as possible against these guys.
So imagine playing them at the Stern Pro Circuit Finals.
When all you have is modern Sterns.
Yeah, what do you pick then? Yeah. I played against Escher, and I was deciding what to pick, and it was literally a coin flip. Like, what do you even do at that point?
No. Travis, I love you, man, but your audio cut out about half of that. So,
crap.
Anybody want to try to interpret what he just said?
I think he said. Oh, wow.
I'm back.
There he is.
There.
I swear, Monica, if you're listening to this, buy me a new mic. Jesus,
it's not the mic. I'm telling you, I think it's your internet. But I found my score. It was a whopping 202 million. So okay, yep. Let's just move on.
Solid.
Move on. Yeah, solid score. But it was a winning score. It was a winning score for sure. But that's it. So huge shout out to Neil McRae. That was a ton of fun. It was really cool being in Europe and experiencing pinball from that side. I went to Pinball Republic, had an awesome time playing some of those games, which actually leads us to a message we got from Matt Freeman. So he said, "Hey, Joel, Tom, and Travis, a quick question for you, buddy. I just got back from Neil McRae's Pinball Republic in London, UK. There's a great atmosphere. All the games looked amazing. However, all the modern games were set up to be brutal because they're used there in leagues, i.e. tilt bob short, no ball saves. So how, as a novice, can you deal with issues like on Guardians where the ball would drain pretty consistently from the right scoop to straight down the middle, or on bond, premium, top left sling to right out lane? Much appreciated, Matt." So I don't know. You guys all play, like, do you guys have any thoughts on, and I think we've talked about this before, I haven't asked Keith directly, but a lot of these tournament locations now, they are trying to make the games as brutal as possible. How does a novice attempt to play that? Or is there a way that you can keep a game friendly for novice, but yet adjust for a tournament? I don't know. I mean, and a lot of these are physical adjustments. And I know, Keith, obviously in your games, you guys try to really think through a lot of software adjustments. I don't think, is there a discussion there at Stern of like, we really don't want people adjusting the physical sides of our games besides taking rubbers off outposts? Or what's your approach there on handling the difficulty on games?
I mean, honestly, when we're designing games, we don't think about tournaments at all.
Okay.
Obviously, on the software side, we'll put some, non-randomized stuff in. It's just modern pinball has become this storytelling era with long ball times. And so, of course, with that, then comes, there's, can't put too many dangerous shots in there. So it is kind of a catch-22 with making these games hard for expert players, because you can take all the in-lane, out-lane posts out you want. Escher's still going to, blow the game up. So you're actually hurting, I think, the more novice player. And, another thing with these modern games is you can get away with a huge move. I mean, Travis knows what I'm talking about. It's just like, wham! All right, there's my 2 warnings. I actually tend to rectify that in my next game. So I think that'll help narrow the gap down too. I mean, so when I would play, sometimes Logan will have the monthly tournaments and they set it on 1 tilt warning, which is actually brilliant because you can't make a big move at all. So I think that really helps narrow the skill gap.
So instead of adjusting the tilt, or the tilt's already tight, you're just saying you get 1 danger.
You don't get a free slide save at all.
Got it. Because I think I read or heard somewhere, like Josh Sharp's thought is you're allowed 1. You're allowed 1 big move. That's it.
Well, those guys, yeah.
No, so
those guys just also go make changes in the adjustments that and actually know what they're due. So.
Well, so that is what I experienced when I was playing Neil's game. So we actually stepped up to Walking Dead. I will tell you, Walking Dead, I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to understand the love of Walking Dead, and it was really cool having Neil standing there beside me, like telling me exactly what to do. But he told me, he's like, "Hey, do this and this and this, and you'll be in multi-ball." I did it, and I'm not in multi-ball. And he's like, "Oh, I got to check the settings." And he had gone through, and like every setting he just increased the number of shots, and it was just, and that's something that I don't see a ton in tournaments, of purposely just adding more shots. Normally they just,
that's happened a lot. Even on Rush, we've seen people do that to Rush a lot, and it just makes it super wood choppy. It makes no sense to do something like that.
It actually slows the game down. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, what am I going to do? I'm just going to graze the whale walker on the right side, 12 times rather than, okay, I only need 3 more shots. I'll be more aggressive.
So maybe this is a good question. If Keith, if you were going to host a tournament tomorrow and Godzilla was going to be in the game, what adjustments would you make to Godzilla if you knew high level players would be playing the game?
I mean, not too much to Godzilla. I designed it so that right side would be extremely deadly if you remove the rubber. But software wise, there's really nothing I'd say to make it more difficult.
You just put it on tournament play and let her rip.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park, same thing. It's a very drainy game, especially if you remove the outline and inlane rubbers.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Maiden's the same way. Avengers, those are all fairly drainy games with the outline rubbers gone. Godzilla, I made a lot friendlier with the outline settings and rubbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, to your point, Walking Dead, which the rule set itself is brilliant because you have to shoot drop targets, you have to shoot a building with a magnet, you have to shoot the well walker with or without a magnet, depending on which version you're playing. Those are all dangerous shots. And it's brilliant because you can avoid them, but you're not going to get very far in the game. So I think that's what makes it such a great tournament game. It's just, it's all about getting the ball back under control.
Yeah. And
I think that's important. What, you guys alluded to the younger players being so good on some of these games is because oftentimes you can do really well without ever putting the ball in danger.
No, it's a good point. And that's something that, or at least what I felt I was starting to experience in Walking Dead was like, being that I was hitting my shots, it was like, cool, I might actually progress a little bit in this game. But unfortunately, the way Neil had the settings, I wasn't progressing because I just, like I need a reward for hitting the shot 3 times. Don't make me hit it 6, But it was, I don't know. I think that's just really interesting. The more that I watch tournament streams or the more that I go on location, and I love it that locations are doing, trying to do more tournaments, try to do more stuff. So I think they are actually making their games a little harder, but trying to find that balance of how do you keep tournaments so they're not 18 hours long, with crazy long games, but then also how do you keep a tournament fun for the people participating in it? And I don't know. I mean, Tom, with District 82, I'm assuming that's a constant conversation.
Yeah.
But you just turn the lights on or off.
I'm not in those conversations.
No?
I mean, I kind of am, but I think District 82 is kind of taking it a little too crazy as far as setups go. Making some of the games too hard that don't have to be. Especially some of the classic games like Stars. You don't have to make Stars as brutal as it is. You don't have to make that game hard.
The police force with the rebound rubbers, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's gone now. It's not there anymore. Although I think Thorn still has it, but yeah.
Well, I think too with modern pinball, and hopefully Joel, can you hear me? Please,
I can hear you.
Can hear me. Okay,
you're great.
For now. But with modern pinball, I think I'm not a big fan of switching up the software beyond just maybe taking off a ball save, and then outside of that, just change the outlanes, like change the rubbers. That's all you have to do, and tighten up tilt a little bit. Because I'd rather see players have a chance to progress through the game, and like Keith said earlier, you become more aggressive in that way because a multi-ball is closer. A mode is closer. It's not so much of just try to hit this one safe shot, get trapped up, do it all over again. I mean, it just allows for just more dynamic gameplay. And I think a lot of tournament directors out there have gotten away from that because they think they have to bastardize the game so much to slow it down. It ends up just hurting the average player. It does not hurt top level players at all until you see somebody in the 500s or 1000s make a top 4 at a Stern Pro Circuit event. I mean, it makes it to where just the top players will automatically just crush everybody else every single time.
Yeah. Another big thing to me is every tournament puts the game maximum pitch, which actually makes the game easier.
Yep.
So, if you really want to screw up someone like Escher, put him on a flat pitch game where it's really floaty. The slingshots are just sending it to the outlanes left and right. Because I've been playing in tournaments for years and years, and I'm so used to these steep pitch game. But if I go on location and play a game that's really floaty, I have a really hard time adjusting to it. So that's actually something that to actually think about when you're setting up a tournament game. It's like, yeah, these guys are used to playing it a certain way. If you change that dynamic of it, it really throws off their game.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting. When I interviewed you previously, Keith, I asked you about Godzilla. I was like, okay, what pitch do you think a game should be at? And you had a very open-ended answer. You're like, play at whatever you want. If it's draining too much down the middle, flatten it out a little bit. If it's draining too much on the sides, raise it up a little bit. Like it doesn't, I don't know. I
Yeah,
remember.
there was some idiotic rumor that I told everyone exactly what pitch to put. I think it was Jurassic Park or something. And it was like,
Yeah.
I don't even have an inclinometer, so I don't know. I couldn't even tell you a number if I wanted to. I just, just pitch it to what you think feels right.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
I will say at Free Play Florida, they kind of went a little crazy with the pitch. Like on Iron Maiden, they put a 2x4 underneath the back legs, and you could barely hit the right ramp. Like I took 3 shots at it, and like it would go and back down.
And again, like I said, in the long run, that makes the game easier because the ball the slingshots don't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, you made a comment, Keith, which I think is interesting, where you said, at Stern, we're really not designing for tournament play. Like you're trying to design a game for the masses, which I think is clever. And I know I've talked to you before that when you release a game, like you're watching streams like a hawk because you're trying to see how all these different people, all these different skill levels. And I think we saw that the way you've adapted the code based on what you're seeing or how you're seeing people play. I just think it's what I find really interesting is whether it's Facebook or Pinside, there are people that truly think, Stern's only hiring tournament players. So Stern's only making games for themselves. They're making games for themselves and their friends. Like, I don't agree with that comment.
I don't either.
But at the same time, Venom just came out and the majority of the media right at the beginning is all from tournament. A lot of the streamers play tournaments, like a Carl D'Angelo. A lot of the media early on is tournament-minded people. And even Travis with the Pinball Company, he's making videos on how to win your launch tournament. It's very tournament-focused stuff. So I don't know from a designer standpoint how you balance that of like, when I release a game, I need this to be tournament ready. But at the same time, if the bigger picture is I'm trying to design a game for everybody else, how do you handle that?
Oh, I mean, a great example is our new programmer, Elizabeth Gieske. I think you know her. She goes to District 82. She plays in a lot of tournaments. She's on my team now. And when she first came on, we talked about, we're not designing this game for us. We have to design a game everyone's going to like. So as much as, we'd like to put some super complicated, rule set in it, it's not going to fly. So, every day, we bounce rule ideas off each other to put in my next game. And it's like, okay, but, shut your brain off and just flip or, have a family member play. And it's like, what do they think? How far are they getting? And then, we'll just plus or minus from there.
Yeah. No, I love it. That's really good to hear because to me, where I struggle with any game that's down here in the basement, if a friend or family steps up to it, they always ask, what do I do? And if I can't explain what to do in like 10 words or less, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, because I know they're going to turn off and that just giving them that or hoping that the game communicates once they do the thing. Hopefully the game communicates them enough with lights or sound that they would know, well, I did that. So now what, carry them through. And for the 4 of us, we're all decent players. I'm going to just I'm just increasing we're all good players. And we all have a pinball mind where we can deal with complexity, but I understand it's really hard to get people outside or on location to step past that or embrace that.
You got to remember too, Joel, it's when it comes to complexity in a rule set, it takes a very unique person.
He's here.
Now you guys are all gone. Can you see me or not?
We can see you. You started talking.
You sound better.
You started talking and your video actually disappeared, which was pretty great. But now it's back. Okay. You were talking, Travis. Yeah. He probably can't hear us. Oh, there he's gone. Tom, Rush. What I wanted to say with Rush was Rush, Rush is your baby. You love Rush. Rush is the greatest game ever made, right? No offense, Keith. but that's Tom 2 on Rush. I know Rush got a lot of hate early on when it came in, that it was too hard to understand. And I feel like that was one of those games that is hard to tell a novice player when they step up to it, do the thing.
Definitely.
I mean, did you have any thoughts on that when it first came out? Or you were just like, no, I'm glad this game is as complex as it is because this is my game.
Yeah, I mean, I was glad about the complexity just because I'm a big Rush nerd. So, you know, so to me, that was a big thing. Plus, I like the more complicated rule sets, but I could see where other people are like, I have no idea what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Travis, you are back. Did you have a thought?
I did, and I said it to myself, and all three of you were just frozen. I thought I was saying something epic because you guys were all paying attention, and then nobody responded, and I was just like, shit.
Oh, no, he's freezing again. There he is.
Am I freezing again?
He's frozen again. That's to our audio listeners. I buckle up. This is going to be.
Can you at least hear me though?
I don't know what to tell him, man. We can hear you.
You can hear
you.
Okay.
So if you're ever on a podcast, okay.
He's going to go no video.
No, you three go ahead. I'm going to switch over to my iPhone. Yeah, we're going old school. Keith will have the best looking webcam here, so
I can't wait to edit all this together. But okay, good luck, Godspeed, Travis. so sorry, Keith. Sorry that. Well, actually, no. This is Travis.
Yeah,
this is not. We're not faking it.
If you're a podcaster, don't move.
Don't move your house. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't move.
Okay. What else? I know. So Keith, your current, I know, so obviously Godzilla came out and then you had Bond 60th. Since you've released new code for for Jurassic Park.
And Bond 60th.
And Bond 60, yes. Both of those were received incredibly well. I know Jurassic Park co-op mode has been embraced really well. You've been chipping away on that. If I had to look at a schedule and I had to look at how Stern is rotating designers, you might be on the top of that list. So I'm guessing life is getting busier, or you're heading in the direction of busy coming down the path. And I don't know, how's been the last few months at Stern been?
Yeah. I mean, we just moved into the building, getting my office set up.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going in 2-3 times a week, so that's getting busy.
Feeling good. Well, I'm hoping
nothing new.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm excited for the next few months. It's always normally right around late December, early January is when Stern will announce another game. It'll be fun. Stern's last game, Venom, has been a really interesting game to have and play. The XP system or the leveling up system, I don't know. Is that any thoughts on that? Are you enjoying that, or is that something that you feel Stern might embrace more? It's just such a unique thing to have in pinball.
The persistent data thing, yeah, we're planning on doing something similar.
Okay.
It's if you have the ability to do it, then you might as well do it for something. We're not going in the same direction as say Venom did with powered yourself up to make the game easier. We're doing it a completely different direction, but hopefully people will like it.
Yeah.
It's great. Actually, I like playing Venom. We have one in the office there. Do our quote unquote 15 minutes a day. That's one of the games I gravitate towards.
Yeah, and I've heard we will probably talk a little bit about Venom later with one of the games or the discussions we want to have. But I've heard that Venom's actually doing well on location, and it makes sense to me because once Venom leaves my house, it will absolutely be a game that I'll want to put 1 or 2 games on, because when you put a game on it, you're just progressing, you're just building levels, you're picking up where you left off. And to me, I have no doubt that I think it would be a really good game to have on location. While the other side of that being that I've had this game in my house for 2 months, it has totally changed. I was obsessed with the game when I first had it because I just wanted to grind and I just wanted to beat Noel. But now that I've beaten him 4 times, so I have everything unlocked, but I still have Insider Connect. My mind is shifted to, okay, I can check that box, but now how do I want to play the game? And it's just, I've never had a game like that of like pulling me in different directions or motivating me in different ways. So if you're talking about using some sort of progressive system, I'll be really curious to like. I like that. I like the change that it's thrown at me with the game. So yeah, cool.
And plus, I mean, I'm sure you're also appreciating that, like with every code update, your strategy completely changes.
Yes. We've talked about that. I know Travis, once again, with the Pinball Company, has made multiple videos now because whatever he's preaching is the right way to play it changes because they're adapting. And I know you do that too with any of your games. If you see a very clear exploit or a very clear path, you don't want that. So you're adjusting.
It's all Carl's fault.
It's Carl. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the great example is, I was watching Jurassic Park on a stream, and the commentator's like, always pick whatever that mode is.
Yeah.
Everyone always picks from the control room. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, oh, well, that's a problem. Yep. So when we did the update, Raymond worked on those control room modes. I said, make them more interesting.
No, and I will say, when I was at Chicago Pinball Expo, I actually commentated a little bit of the streaming, and I had a moment where I was sitting between Robert Byers and Eric, the Florida guy, Eric Stone. And what was great was Jurassic Park came up, and I'm like, all right, so you're stepping up to the game. What are you doing? And Robert goes, oh yeah, you want to hit spell map, get into a mode as soon as possible, get through your first paddock. That way you can get control room. That's the way you want to go. And then Eric, without missing a beat, goes, no. he goes, no, like you want to go Raptor Pit. Raptor Pit is where the points are on this. And he explained this whole thing. And I sitting there listening, and I'm thinking, I bet Keith loves to hear this, to hear two competitive players from the plunge arguing what direction to head. And that's the goal, right? That's the goal, is to have that type of balance in a game.
Yeah. I remember Kaylee George, famous tournament player, came up to me. He's like, I hate your games because they don't have any exploits. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And I think we've talked before that you said from a designing standpoint, the physical layout, you're good at that and you can knock that out and you've got ideas for days, but it's the code and the code direction and the code pass and the code balance. That is where all the mental energy gets sucked into. And that's the exhausting part of designing a game.
Yeah, it's the hardest part of code design is when you're working with assets. It's how do I make this rule set fit what's going on screen? Mm-hmm. Whereas Jurassic Park was actually super easy because I just told the art guys, hey, I had this idea for a mode. Make me these assets. Okay. Doing it the other way around is so much harder. That's why after Godzilla, my brain was just fried. And, when Bond 60th came around, I told Mark Panaccio, just do what you want.
Do whatever, yeah. Because you said with Godzilla, you watched everything. You were pulling. You were the one that pulled all those video assets. Yeah, it was. Yeah. But speaking of video,
watch each of those movies 5 times and then pull the assets out. It's like, what can I use? What can I design a mode around? It was mentally exhausting.
Well, the outcome was worth it, so I appreciate that. Speaking of exhausting. Travis is back. What is going on, man? At least? We can hear you, yes.
I'm doing my best to torpedo this podcast. That's what I'm trying to
do. You're just good at balancing. We get a really good guest,
you're just jealous you lost to Keith at Indus. That's what this is about.
Yeah. Well,
the double zero on Bad Girls.
It was his fault. I'm happy the whole world knows it now. That wouldn't have happened if he didn't pick that damn game. So, yeah.
That game was fun. That game was fun.
Oh, it was a blast, Keith. Yes, I fully enjoyed watching you guys get to play 3 full balls. Although I think you guys had 20 million, 25 million on it? Something like that?
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, it's something like that. That's what I love about Indisc is they just throw the most random game at you. That going into that tournament, I had never played it before, but at least competitively, or I don't remember. And when they threw it in there, I had a junk ticket going from qualifying. I was like, oh, I'm going to try this game out, and I ended up really liking it, and then putting it on my next run. And so that was actually one of the few picks I had left when you were in my group. So.
So I like you.
Well, I liked all the other picks. I mean, what were we really going to do? We weren't going to try to play Tron against Escher. Like, I like playing Flash.
No.
I like playing Bad Girls. And I think, what was the first game? Firepower?
Firepower.
I think, right? Yeah. So I liked all those games. Like, to me, it's like I was like the Joel of that group because we had Keith, we had Zoller, and we had Escher. So it's like,
man.
I was already hitting way
Keith
above my
Escher
weight,
and Jason
so,
Zoller.
yeah, that was a tough group.
What's going to be really interesting is when all of this uploads at the end, how much of Travis's audio or video is actually here. But you know what? The good news is people are tuning in.
Am I coming through still, even on the iPad?
It's a little better.
It might be an internet issue, but we'll figure it out.
It's an internet issue for sure.
And by figure it out, I mean when I go to edit this is gotta be a bear. But that's all right. Okay, so when we asked Keith to be on, we said, "Is there anything particular you want to discuss?" And Keith actually proposed this idea, and I think it's really cool. Which is, if we look at the Pinside top 100 list, there are games. If you really look at that list, there are games that score in the 100 to 200s that shouldn't be there. They should be higher. Or the latter part of that, games that are in the 200 to 2, whatever the most one is, that should be higher. So we thought this would be a fun discussion with all of our different viewpoints here on what games we think should be ranked higher. So we've picked 3. Each one of us has picked 3 per range. So we'll start with the range of 100 to 200. What are the 3 games that each one of us personally feel should be in the top 100, not between 100 and 200, that kind of thing. So, Keith, being that this is your game, you can start. So, go for it.
3? I thought we were doing 5. All right.
Let's do 5 because I did 5 too.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. Well, I did 3. Well, okay, but that's fine.
Joel
so go
can't
ahead,
even
Keith.
name 5 games. We're screwed.
But that's not. Jeez. Okay.
So my number 5 pick is Lethal Weapon 3.
Lethal Weapon 3. Let me find that. Lethal Weapon 3 currently ranked. Geez, this is going to take a little while, but I got to scroll. Lethal Weapon 3. Okay, go ahead. Why is that better than where it's ranked?
To me, you have to think when this game came out, Data East
184
was really, obviously the playfield's a little bit of a copy of T2, but I think it really works in this case. The orbit around, and you're building up your clip, and then you're cashing that in for awards. I just thought it was a really fun game for this time, and the one at District 82 we've played numerous times in the tournament, and it's always been fun. So, while I don't think it's a top 50 game, I think it definitely deserves to be in a top 100.
Yeah, cool. Okay. That was not on my list. Was that on? No. Anybody else have anything to add to that? No. Travis does. Let's see what happens.
Well, that was my number 3 on it. Are we all just doing number 5? Is this going through, please? Is it not?
It's coming, man. It's just.
I'm just going to drive to Chicago.
It was his number 3, everyone.
Just go to Keith's house, and I'll be there.
I always feel like Travis should
We only expect this from Travis.
It's what's crazy is his camera has stayed on. It's just frozen.
Maybe he needs to turn his camera off.
Yeah, maybe just go. Just try at this point, Travis. Just go pure audio.
Yeah, his 28K modem is just not.
Yeah, I'll stick up. Turn your camera off. I'll stick up a beautiful picture of you for the video.
All right,
it'll be flattering for sure. But I think it's time to ditch video.
Do they only have dial-up in St. Louis? Or?
Yes.
I don't know. He's down. He's so frozen. He's okay. Well, Lethal Weapon. Keith, what was your next game?
Sorry.
I'm doing my entire list, or are we going to someone else's number 5?
Might as well.
All right.
Yep.
So my 4th game is the best scissor flipper game ever made, Harlem Globetrotters.
Harlem Globetrotters. Looking at the list, I knew that was coming because I know how much Tom and Travis both love that game. But Keith, why do you love that game?
I played that game when it was brand new. That's how old I am. I was like, wow, this game is really fun and unique. If you love spinner rips and inline drop targets, which I do, man, it's your cup of tea. And that game still holds up today. It's just super fun, super Dudley, and I enjoy it still.
Yeah, and I'm guessing because I think Harlem Globetrotters made both of their top 5 games of all time list. I'm assuming Tom and Travis both had this on their list of games they think
Yes.
should be higher.
Yes.
Yes, got it. Perfect. Okay, number 3, Keith.
Number 3 I have is Mousing Around.
Oh, that has that shot right up the middle. Like that's okay. Why Mousing Around?
I owned one for years, and actually, you can set that shot up to be pretty deadly. So it's got these little ramp covers on it. If you take those off, the feed is like a lot more wild. So something about I really love the what do you call them? The trapdoor locks, the cheese locks. I thought that was really innovative. Having to hit all those stand-up targets. I mean, it sounds easy, but then you're like, oh, I got to hit all these stand-up targets, but it's actually great. Risk reward aspect, and then there's an alternate strategy of blowing up the cheese letters and cashing them in at the mouse hole. So for its time, it had some unique strategies. You can try to loop the left orbit. Depending on how the setup was, you can get pretty good at that. So I just think for its time, it was a great movie, and I think still a great game, and it still holds up today.
Nice. Does District 82 have one of those, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think I've seen that streamed.
Yeah, and it's kind of got the Papa rubbers in the middle, so it's harder to hit the middle, and then it has the cover off of the left return. So yeah, it's pretty brutal, but it's still fun.
Nice. Okay, good pick. Okay, what else you got?
My number 2 I have is Sopranos.
Okay. I know Buffalo Pinball has a lot of love for that game. What do you love about it? The back left corner?
I never even watched the show, and I think it's a fun game. I like the safe that comes apart, you shoot through. I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously they had some pretty good assets to go with it. And, Gomez game it. It shoots fine. Yeah, it's got some nice orbit action, and that spinner shot I think is really satisfying.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's funny that Sopranos is a rather serious show, but they made the game fun, like campy almost. They leaned into the humor way more than the serious side of Sopranos. So
and the talking fish, and the quips at that fish make are hilarious. It's I just enjoy playing the game.
Yeah. Was that your 2? And then I
That's
think you have
my 2.
1. Okay.
My number 1 is Baywatch.
Baywatch with that little shark flipper, huh?
The shark flipper. The layout of that game, I think it's just a really, really great layout. Especially, at the time when Sega was kind of cost cutting, everything in that era. I think that this game kind of hit the mark. The drop targets felt good. The ramp, if you could make it, and the flippers weren't dead, it was a nice shot. I love how the little right side with that little spinner that returns to the little shark flipper. I thought that was pretty ingenious.
Okay. Yeah. And I love the, I love the big DMD too. Like I love the big DMD. I am really becoming a fan of just, it's weird. The more I get into this hobby, the more I'm actually really drawing to the DMD displays, the DMD art. Nothing against all that time and energy you put in pulling clips for Godzilla, Keith. But there's just something about pinball feels like a DMD to me.
Yeah, the game obviously has some shortcomings. The video mode's terrible. It could have leaned a little more into the campiness, but I think just as a shooter and just kind of a shut your brain off, have fun type of game, I thought it was pretty good for its time.
Cool. Okay. I'd go to Travis, but I don't think I can.
It is what it is.
Tom, you want to go through your list?
Sure.
So I know you had Harlem on it, but what else?
So that was my number 4, actually. Okay. I didn't really number these in any particular order, I guess. So my 5th one was Black Rose. I just kind of like the the multi-balls and the goofiness of shooting the cannon shot.
I know Ray Day has he loves Black Rose.
Yeah,
I own a Black Rose. Yeah.
So what do you think about it, Keith? Why do you love Black Rose?
I wouldn't say I love it. I have a lot of fun shooting it. I love the theme. Obviously, it's kind of a one-trick pony with the rules, which is kind of the downside of it. But that shot, which has got to be the longest shot in pinball to hit the broadside, it's pretty satisfying. And the video modes are what they are. I mean, they're not great. They're not terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I actually enjoy playing that game in tournaments since it's such a one-trick pony. But, you know, when I have it at home, it's like, yeah, I'll play this once in a while. But, you know.
Did you have that game? You used to be an operator. You used to route games. Was that a game you routed ever?
Yeah, that was at 82 for a while.
And how did that do on location?
Not too great.
Okay, because it is an unlicensed theme, but like it's pirates. People like pirates, and it's the layout with the cannon. I do think there's enough there to be like, ooh, how do I?
Yeah, I think people hated the cannon because that area was just so warped. You know, I did everything I could to make that as flat as possible, but you know, I even bought a new cannon.
I've never met one that was.
Yeah, I think from the factory they were warped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Black Rose. Yeah.
So yeah, 4 was Harlem. Pretty much same reasons Keith said. 3, I picked Radical. Radical's a cool game. I mean, the layout's super cool. I like the spelling radical, doing the multi-ball. I know there's like an updated ROM, which makes the game a lot more fun to play, especially in tournaments. But I really like Radical. I kind of wish I owned one, kind of thing. So I put that on my list.
Yeah, there's not a ton of them out there. That's becoming a more sought after game. That was actually if I have to go top 5, it didn't make my top 3. I probably would have included that. And it's just because I think it's a fun theme, like skating. A lot of people, I think there's some overlap there that people were into that type of culture. And then the ramps and the layouts are really appealing. Just the way there's so many of them and the way they're laid out, I think it draws you in to want to shoot all that. Keith, what are your thoughts on Radical?
Yeah, they have one at Logan. It's great shoot. Obviously, the random jackpot values kind of below, but yeah, if there's a tournament ROM, that's awesome.
Okay.
That shot up the middle is pretty tough. But yeah, it's actually a very interesting Dan Langlois design. He definitely took some risks, like having a ramp like 6 inches from the flippers, but it works, you know.
Yeah, it's real. Is that the closest? Like I know the left ramp on Shadow is real close, but is Radical, is that the closest ramp that you can do? Is there a ramp in pinball you can think of that's closer than that left ramp on Radical?
Maybe not.
Maybe the ramp on Bond.
Oh yeah. It's,
or
ramp, yeah.
I'm thinking
maybe Monopoly.
Monopoly, yeah.
Travis, can you hear us?
I'm here. I'm just chilling.
Okay.
All right. Yep, solid. He has dropped out. We're trying, people. We're trying. This might be a we may hear more out of the two of you than we've ever heard on podcasts, and I love it. I love it. Okay, Tom, what else you got?
Number 2, I picked Demo Man. It's not like a super deep game, but I like the shots, and I mean it's kind of it's a fanish layout, but it has the upper flipper. It's got some cool shots. It's got a lot of flow to it, which I like. And a lot of multi-ball, which I also like. But I thought it, I thought it could crack the top 100 for sure. Yeah. Even though it's not like, I remember, when I first got into this hobby, you could get like a Demo Man for like $1,200.
Yep.
But I think it's a really underlooked game. It's just my thoughts on it, but
yeah, and it has the handles. It has the handles on the upper side. What are you? Don't you score more? Don't they have it where you get more points if you play with the handles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play with the handles? Either of you?
I'm bored.
When you're bored. Yeah.
I will say it has the most probably satisfying shot in pinball is nailing that scoop, which is such a tight shot. Not the computer, but the left orbit into the multi-ball start.
Yep.
Trying to nail that shot under pressure is one of the most fun shots in pinball. Right, Travis?
Yes, absolutely. It was great. Can you guys hear me?
So what I would say, just to hope that things work well, we can hear you, but I think for the sake of everyone, maybe turn off your camera and just
I'm
go
on top
just
of the
audio,
roof, Joel.
And we'll try that.
Okay, I'm going just
there
audio.
It is, perfect.
You can hear me, though. We're good.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes.
So
you can hear me. Okay.
Demo Man is what we're talking about. Do you like...
Do you like demo,
Travis? Man? Do you like demo
yes.
man? Just that's
it's okay.
And he's probably
it's a good.
Okay. It was Tom. What was your? I feel so bad. You know he feels bad. You know he's probably.
It's Travis. It was meant to be.
He needs to go to a Starbucks or something.
It was the internet. So what's funny is we joked around. There was one week that we talked about recording because Travis was busy, and I messaged Tom and I said, "Tom, what if we get Keith this week? Because Travis has wanted Keith. Like, what if we get Keith as the sub for Travis?"
And I was just like, "No, his heart would be absolutely broken.
It would be broken if we the one episode we get Keith on, and now we're here, and it's technical difficulties.
That's why I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, I know. I hope Monica's not there in the house because he's probably like, Monica, I need you to fix all this. Okay, Demo Man, what else you got?
My last one was it's probably my second favorite early solid state game, and that's Paragon. Yeah, I just like it can be kind of brutal. You got to go for those inline drops, and you have to literally hit them all down and get in the saucer if you want the 5X. So I think it's that, and that aspect of it's a little tougher than Harlem.
Yeah.
But I just, and I like how it's a wide body, which is, not the norm, but Bally did those extra wide bodies, and I like that one the best out of all the ones they did. So,
and you love the art.
No, the art's good.
Yeah, all the muscles, the muscles.
Yeah, and no neck.
Yeah, it's like looking in the mirror, Tom, right?
Right, exactly.
Travis just texted me. He says his whole internet's messing up on his end. Everything's falling apart.
Reboot your router.
Use your
that's
cell
what
phone.
I just said.
Call in.
Restart the router. Let's see.
You should just put it on
I'm hitting it
speakerphone.
now. He's saying y'all keep going. We will, or just cell phone. I have no idea what his cell phone service is. Anyways, okay. So great list. I only did 3. And yes, Radical was one of them that I was genuinely thinking about, but it didn't make my list. I'm trying to remember what the other one was, but my number 3 is Skateball. I was surprised, Keith, that Skateball. I know you love Skateball, but Skateball wasn't on your list.
I love Skateball for sentimental reasons, yeah, but
okay.
When I was a kid, I would play the whole game. Oh, this game's awesome. This game's great. But, I played it in so many tournaments where you just shoot the right saucer over and over. It's kind of soured on me over the years. But I still think it's a great game if you play it. The artwork's great. My coworker, Greg Ferris, must have been like 20 years old when he drew that. So.
All right, yeah.
But no, yeah, I love Skateball. But in a tournament, I don't love it.
Got it. Okay. So if my fifth, then this is a shout out to Chuck it would be Big Game. And I've only played Big Game, twice, but I've watched Chuck stream it and the passion that he has behind that game. And really for what it is, the complexity of it and the way that you can attack it. It's not, you don't realize it just looking at it, but there's actually some depth there. And I'm assuming from a tournament standpoint, you guys both enjoy that.
I like ripping spinners.
Yeah. I own a Big Game. It's my favorite classic Stern. But in a tournament, am I going to sit there and try to complete bingo grids?
Yeah.
No. I got to just hope the spinner's lit. If it's not lit, I'm shooting it over there anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a great game when you're trying to fill out the bingo cards and get your multiplier up, and then the reserve bonus. Yeah, I love that game. Yeah, but tournament wise, yeah, I'm shooting that left spinner all day.
Yep. Okay, that's fair. So those would have been my 4 and 5. So my number 3, my actual number 3, and it's almost nervous, like my view on these games, because you're going to probably laugh at me. But my number 3 is F-14 Tomcat. F-14 Tomcat. Okay, you guys are in, because that was a game I actually traded. This was back when I had a Hobbit, and that was the only game I had. And I realized I needed more than one game. I needed to grow the collection. So I actually traded. This is when Hobbit was worth like $6,500, maybe $7,000. So I actually traded Hobbit for World Cup Soccer. It was World Cup Soccer, Pinbot, and F-14 Tomcat. It was a 3-for-1 trade. And the F-14 was like pristine condition. So it was a game I never wanted to have, but it was like, part of the trade. What a blast. That game.
It's a fun game.
That game is high energy, high adrenaline. Just getting a multi-ball is such a battle. That is a game where you really feel like you're battling the freaking game. And when the beacons, it's just, I feel like everybody has to own a F-14 at some point in time. You kind of have to own one. And I love watching it play in tournaments, because I don't know what they edit or change on that game to make it harder for tournament players. I think it's just already there. It's ready straight out of the box. You can drop that at a high level tournament. So
the one thing they do is get rid of spotting when you shoot the VUC.
Okay.
But the second game I ever owned was an F-14, and I loved it, and I still like playing it today. It's just so weird and different. And I remember talking to Steve Ritchie about it. And he was like, I hate symmetrical games, but this one just worked. So, and it did. Yeah.
What a fun game, though. That was a game I ended up selling it because, but that's a game I genuinely, I miss. I don't miss, no offense, I don't miss Pinball at all. I never got into it. But F-14 was a game, never wanted it, got it, blew me away. And then now it's gone. I actually miss it. And so I will happily play it if I ever see it on location.
And so the thing, people may not appreciate today, but when that came out in 86 or whenever, both the sound and the light shows were just leagues beyond anything else at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That game has like 30 flashers in it, and the sounds and the music, everything was just top notch.
Yeah. So when I had it is right after my daughter was born, but she was big enough that I could put on a harness, like a carrier, and she would sit and watch me play, like little babies looking at lights, freaking love it. My wife wouldn't let me do that with F-14. She's like, this game is too bright. The beacons, she's like, you're going to overstimulate this child. You can do it with the other, but not F-14, which I thought was hilarious that there was a stipulation on it.
That is the best multi-ball ready moment, I think, in pinball, when you lock that third ball, then the beacons come on, and the music changes, and it's intense music, it's going. It's like, that's crazy.
It's great. It's awesome. So F-14, I definitely think, because my view with this is are you telling me there's 100 better games than F-14? Nah. It's gotta be, even if it's 99. It surprised me that it's 176 F-14.
I was surprised, Keith, you didn't pick Frontier, because you always wear the Frontier shirt.
I love Frontier. That's the game that got me into pinball. I don't know. I honestly didn't see it ranked that far down. I mean, I'm not going to pretend it's like some amazing rule set game. It's just one of those, here, do this thing. It's very hard to do. And, just keep doing it over and over. And I love Frontier. But I'm at peace with it not being in the top 100.
I'm at peace. My number 2 game is NBA Fast Break. And I don't think that's a tournament game. I don't know if I've ever seen it in a tournament. I don't know how you feel it fits in a tournament. But
it was an IFPA 17 and the European Pinball Championship. So I'd say it's a tournament game.
Okay. Yeah, so I played Usher on it at the IFPA.
So what's a final score? What do you remember? because it's F14 or sorry, NBA Fast Break is actually scored in like basketball points. So a score is like 100. Do you remember what a high level competitive score is on on NBA Fast Break?
I mean, I played tournaments where rings were worth points.
Okay.
Because your score goes up 2-3 whatever, and you win a ring.
Yeah.
So the ring was kind of like a tiebreaker. But yeah, I don't know. I think we 200s.
200s. Okay. I would have to remember what I feel like I might have broken 200 one time, but I had it in the house. I got it because I was trying to convince my parents to get a pinball machine, and my dad loves basketball. So I was like, I'm going to get this game. He's going to love it, and then he's going to buy it. Like, that was my thought. Like, that'll be what gets him into pinball. And he didn't enjoy it, but my dad's cheap. So that's what it didn't happen. But streaming that game is a ton of fun. And there's something about task-based wizard modes that I love. And the fact that to get to the final, the ring, to compete for a ring, you have to do very specific tasks and you have to do them. And once you've completed that, though, then you can actually do the final, I forget, the world champion or whatever it is. The ring. But I also love the combos, the fact that one of the tasks is based on combos, the combo shots, the dunk, the alley-oop. It's just very creative, fun layout. Friends and family loved it. Interesting mechs. I can't imagine the number of coils that are in the back to pass the ball and shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Like Gomez at the time, like, screw coil count. We're putting them all in. I mean, it's a fun game. I've yet to play one head to head, and I know people say that's like a whole nother thing. So very unique game. It surprised me that it was not a top 100 game for sure.
Yeah. At the 82 arcade in LA where we operated games, we had a head to head Fast Break, and it was a huge draw.
Nice. And that's the only head to head game so far, like, ever, right? That's happened.
Yeah.
Well, I know
separate machines. Yeah.
I think you could technically do two P3s like head to head. You can do that. Two P3s head to head, side by side, but
without the basketball score, I think that's the brilliance of it is the basketball scoring, because you can just look over your opponent. Oh, they got 40 points or whatever. You're not trying to read some billions number on the screen.
No, it's super simple. It's just fun, and the call outs and everything. It's a great game. Definitely should be a top 100 game. Yeah,
I agree. We have one on our Stern break run actually. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. And then my last one is Johnny Mnemonic. So apparently I just like George Gomez, but Johnny Mnemonic, I like the layout of Johnny Mnemonic. I like that spinner right up the middle. I find the glove very entertaining, even though it is a mech that apparently breaks all the time. I know the final wizard mode I've never gotten to, but I've seen, and it like all the lights start to turn off. It's like blackout or something, whatever it's called. Power down. That's just a fun game, and I think that's one of those. I think it's interesting. These are the ones where people are like, I want to get a DMD level game, but I can't afford, Tales of the Arabian Night. Like where like Johnny Mnemonic falls into that category. I think Lethal Weapon falls into that category of, cheaper, but yet this is a game I have a lot of fun on. I know a buddy of mine here locally has one, and I love playing it every time I go over there. How does it work from a tournament standpoint? Is that okay? No,
terrible.
Not at all.
You know what's mind blowing is we have all these custom ROMs going around, but no one's touched Johnny Mnemonic with its obvious. Hey, maybe this 10 million super spinner is a little too much.
Yeah.
That's all you do is you go for the spinner, you carry that bonus over, just keep doing it, and you got 36 billion in no time.
And that's the spinner's right up the middle.
Yeah, and it spins for days too.
Yeah.
I remember Papa actually found some rusty old spinner from one of the damaged games and stuck that in. So you get like 2 or 3 spins. And even then, that's all you would do, because it's still, even 30 million a spin is, worth more in the long run. So,
worth the
if
points.
there's ever a tournament run to fix that, I think it would be an amazing game.
Yeah. Well, now that we've talked about it, not saying you've impacted my list, but I think I'd move Johnny Mnemonic down and move F14 and NBA Fast Break up. That's where I'm at. But those are my 3. Those are my main 3. Travis, I see a screen. I just, we could imitate him. You just, I do a Harlem Globetrotter. We can try.
Can you hear us, Travis?
I don't. Just. Oh boy,
He should just call you and put him on speakerphone.
Just put it. He still's like, yeah. Apparently there's a I don't know. There's a sandstorm or something over his house. I don't know. But, oh, that was Oklahoma. Oh, he's here. What? What? You are here? He comes in right when we start to insult him.
Here.
He's kind of here. He's here and not.
Tell him to text his list and we can laugh at it.
Text your list. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on to the second half then. So the second half is games that are in the 200 to whatever the max is. It was like 278 that we feel once again should go up, should be higher. They should be in the top, not say top 100, but maybe between 100 and 200.
Let's just say underrated games for where they're placed.
Sure. So I'm going to start with this just because I'm just going to throw a game out because it's criminal. Is
WrestleMania. No, just kidding.
Right now, game number 205 on Pinside's list of top games is Venom Pro. And you're telling me that there are 204 pinball machines that are better than Stern's latest game, Venom Pro? I think not. So Venom Pro is absolutely on my list on that. Venom Pro, I get it. The code is different. It's unique. They've tried something new, but the layout it's a fan layout. It's very accessible. It's easy to shoot. It's fun to shoot. I think people can enjoy, I think for them to take a game where they want literally any level of any skill level to be able to achieve the final wizard mode. It's a great layout for that. The animations are good. The sounds are good. The sound packages, there's 4 different freaking sound packages in this game. Light show, no, this game should not be 205. Should not be 205. So we talked about it a tiny bit, but I'm not taking crazy bill here, right? Keith, thoughts on Venom Pro?
No, we talked about Venom earlier. I like it.
Yeah.
It's so different. I think I've only played the Pro once, and that was at the Pro circuit. So I don't have a ton of time on the Pro, but I don't imagine it's too much different other than maybe that's always a horseshoe shot. But no, I actually enjoy progressing through that game and feeling. I'm a sucker for bingo grids, so maybe that's part of it.
It is. There is definitely the risk reward there of before I get into this or before I go further, do I want to change host, fill out another lane, and boom, you got rewards that'll carry through until you fail a battle, which, you're not going to fail a battle. You're Keith Elwin. So, yeah, no, I get it. But Tom, you've played a lot more Venom than that.
Yeah.
205. Why in the world is it 205?
I don't know. Maybe just simplicity of layout. That's the only thing I can think of. Just because it's a fan layout. Like I said, I've said on other podcasts, the code is what makes that game.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwight's done a fantastic job with it. But yeah, I think it's one of those games that, people may not appreciate it now, but they'll appreciate it more in the future.
I agree. I think there's a chance that game might get to a point where, people really start to discover it down the road, and all those LEs that are still sitting there all of a sudden are going to start becoming hard to
look
find.
at Circus Voltaire. They couldn't sell those when they came out, and now they're $10,000 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tournament prize for a long time. They're just trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
That's a great game. I like Circus Voltaire is a beautiful game. Well, I'll just finish my list then. My second one, which really, once again, very surprising. I get it. We're at a point now. These are not tournament ready games, but still, Star Wars Episode 1, the Pinball 2000 game. I get it. Pinball 2000 games in general is I get it. And Revenge from Mars, I do think is the better game. I do think it is a better game. It's Revenge from Mars has all the humor, all the animations, but this is Star Wars Episode 1. What happened was I had Hot Wheels, and Zach was like, "Hey, somebody's coming to get Hot Wheels. They're trading me." They traded him a Star Wars Episode 1 with cash, and then it was another playfield. He had the additional playfield of Revenge from Mars, and he's like, "So you get this?" And just hold on to it for 2 weeks or whatever, and then I get it. So I get it in my garage. I'm looking at the game. I'm like, do I even want to unbox this game? Do I even want to unpack it? I'm not going to move a Pinball 2000 game all the way to my basement when I know it's going to leave 2 weeks later. Like, I'm not messing with that. But I set it up in the garage, and I had a good time with it. I had a good time with the game. So once again, in my mind, are there 223 better games than Star Wars Episode 1? Keith is saying yes. 223.
There are 285 better games than Star Wars Episode 1.
You think Star Wars Episode 1 should be the worst game on this list? That's what
it should be between Thunderbirds and Hercules.
Okay, so explain to me why this game is absolute garbage.
God. Okay, Joel, lock the ball.
Lock. That's it.
Lock the ball. Show me you locking the ball.
And then it's garbage. Absolute garbage.
Oh,
just shoot in the saucers.
Yeah, just shoot it in the saucer. If you get it to stick, you win.
Yeah. I know there's a little bit of rejection, and by a little I mean all of it. But
you have those spinners on the ramps that are
the virtual spinners. Oh my gosh!
Are you guys talking about Star Wars Episode 1?
Well, I'm not trying to rain on your parade.
No, I don't own the game.
We are.
I'm not, flying his
flag. Shoot
it
up. Just keep shooting up the middle. You'll get something going.
It just once again though in my mind. So okay, fine. Is it maybe it should be in the two? If I play the game, are there 223 games that are better than Star Wars Episode 1? In my mind, no. But that's just that's my mind.
I wish I could see Travis's face right now.
Oh, he loves Star Wars. He's just gonna go, yeah, Joel, you're
an idiot.
Travis normally agrees. He agrees with most of what I say. I think we line up on a lot of things, clearly. I wish I should have done a Travis soundboard, if I would have known. It would have been a lot of bro. And
I would place it a little bit higher than Bugs Bunny's birthday ball.
It's that bad. Okay, it's that bad.
It's Raven
it's
level.
Not great.
Wow. Okay, well, my last one, and this is just to make Carl D'Angelo twitch. My last game is Big Buck Hunter. Big Buck Hunter. Okay, Big Buck Hunter, and Carl is now in a cold sweat. Big Buck Hunter is currently ranked at 255. 255. I know Nick from Buffalo Pinball. He owns one, loves it. That's not a 255, really. Like, it's better than that. It's better than that. Have you guys ever played it in a tournament?
Oh yeah, it's a brutal tournament game.
Okay.
What was the game? I'm sorry. There's a lot of commotion back here.
Big Buck Hunter.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
Hey, okay.
I came in. Can Travis? You hear me? Can you hear me? No.
He's staring.
He messaged the group. He said, "You're an idiot, Joel."
Oh, so he's listening.
You can hear me?
We can hear you now. Yes.
You can hear me though.
The video's frozen, but we can hear you. It doesn't matter.
It's okay. Give me. Maybe Travis can talk. Give me a few seconds because
that's fine. Your dog, yeah.
It's the
you
dog,
can hear me.
Tom got a new dog. We can hear you, Travis. Yes.
There's like a 20-second delay.
Keith, maybe it's just you and me, man. Maybe it's just you and me.
Start talking about Star Wars.
Okay. It's.
You have to get in.
Okay. So why you agree with me, Travis? Star Wars Episode 1, great game. Shouldn't be rated
something like that. Yes.
At 200 and whatever it was. Yeah.
Can you?
Sounds like a yes.
Me at all?
Yeah, I'll take the silence. Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Oh God, he cuts out. All right. Keith, this is just, this is what it is, man.
St. Louis Internet.
This is what we have. This is it.
Yeah.
We asked for this.
Can you guys kind of hear me?
I can hear Travis. There he is.
I am. I'm literally on my
go
roof
just to cellular
with
signal.
cellular.
Is it worse?
Like, I don't know what else I could do. Like, look at this. I'm upstairs. I'm as high as I can get. I would. Monica,
you need to go to Starbucks and jump on the Wi-Fi.
I know.
Well, we hear you now. Go on the roof.
All I can think of is if you turned video off, it would be
we'll
less
go video off.
signal. That's
But
all I
Joel,
can think
give
of.
me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Whatever. We'll get through it.
Okay.
We're talking about
Let's go.
Video off. Here we go. We're going to have great success now. We can hear you.
Keep going.
We can hear you.
No.
Okay. Star Wars Episode 1. Should it be better? And your answer is yes.
Star Wars Episode 1?
Keep going. Don't talk about stars. Okay. Okay. Yep.
The game sucks, Joel. I don't know what to tell you.
It's so delayed for him.
Like, the game sucks.
He's
That's all
just
I know to
screwed.
say.
He's
Yeah.
okay. So we'll move on. We'll move on to the next game. The next game that I listed, and Tom put it on his list as well, is Big Buck Hunter. Do you have an opinion on Big Buck Hunter? Is rated 255. Do you think it's where it should be, or should be higher?
Higher. Higher. Lower.
Keith, we'll go. It's just you and me, man. What are your thoughts on Big Buck Hunter?
I haven't played it in a long time, but
this is just wonderful. This is hey, Twippy Awards are coming up, guys. Feel free to vote for this podcast. It's incredible. It's an amazing podcast that we have. Very professional. 45 episodes in, we're only improving. All
right, what about now, Joel? I am outside.
I enjoy Big Buck Hunter. It's a single ramp game, but I think there's enough to shoot at to keep you entertained. There's it's got a handful of modes.
Oh God.
Walk to Starbucks.
We can hear him walking. We can hear him walking, but we can't.
I'm literally outside right now.
We can hear you.
You can hear me. I'm outside. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, he's outside. We're gonna try it. So Big Buck Hunter is what we're talking about.
I'm outside. We're gonna try it.
Yep.
It's a great game. I'm outdoors.
It looks nice there.
It's the theme. It's excellent. Yes. It's shit out here, Tom.
Wonderful.
Everything's shit right now. Yeah. It's great.
All right.
Like, I got a tree.
I got a tree. That's where we're at with this podcast.
So
okay.
It's different from Oklahoma.
I feel like I'm in the future. Yeah, everything I say, you guys are like 10 seconds behind. So I feel like it's not my problem. It's your guys' problem.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the future coming from a guy that's streaming 8 pixels of data right now. Oh, it's great. Okay.
It's so bad. Okay.
No, yeah, okay. It's bad. We'll just go to Keith's list.
I'm
we'll
here. I'm listening.
We're at 200 to 300s.
Yeah, let's listen to that.
Okay. All right.
Go for a walk, Travis.
Get your steps in, man. Get your steps in.
I am. I'm walking. I can hear you guys. You guys just can't hear me. Go ahead. I'll chime in when I can.
We can hear.
Okay, perfect. All right, Keith.
Bottom of my list, I have RoboCop.
RoboCop.
That's a good one.
Yep. Data East. Where was that ranked? All right. Why RoboCop?
It's just a silly, cheesy, campy game. I love campy games, and RoboCop definitely fits that. Had limited assets, limited art, but it's still, there's something about it that's fun, especially in a tournament.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. I've seen that streamed tournament. That has been on a tournament stream before. Does D82
Papa always.
Papa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've seen that before. Cool. I remember the music being fun. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Techno.
Yeah. Okay. RoboCop. Tom, thoughts on RoboCop?
I like it.
Solid review. Big old thumbs up.
It's a brutal game.
Yeah.
Very brutal.
Future Travis. RoboCop?
RoboCop is a fun game. Yes, it's a fun game.
Wonderful. Good. Thumbs up. We
Yes.
got okay.
Yeah,
good.
It's excellent.
Way to contribute, Travis. All right.
It's like 2 times.
Yeah. I can say for a fact, Tom, that there will be less audio
I'm talking
wave
as much
for
as
Travis
I can.
to do
I don't
this
know
year.
what else to do.
I know. Okay, RoboCop. That was number 5 on your list, Keith. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4 is Twister.
Oh, yeah. With don't they have, that's the topper, right? Just blowing at you? Where's Twister at? 252. Okay. Why Twister?
I just think it's a fun game. It's a fun theme. That magnet disc, the multi-ball start, that whole sequence is very cool. The lock target is very risk reward. You got the orbits. Obviously, in tournament play, you're probably going to focus on the orbits, but there are other ways to score points, so you're not locked into that.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think it's a fun, campy game and cheap. So good bang for the buck.
All right. No, I respect that. Tom?
Yes.
That's what are your thoughts on Twister, Tom? Yes.
I have not played Twister a lot, so I can't really comment.
Well, I know Neil has.
Yes, Neil played it a lot at Indisc. Yeah. I stayed away from it because I saw everybody blowing it up, and I'm like, I don't really know how to play this game, so I'm just gonna go elsewhere.
I'm scared to ask, but Travis, it looks like you are on location, with a Twister
it's
in the
background.
Game. Basically with
yes.
Can you report, is there touchdown in St. Louis? Are we experiencing, tornado winds? What's going on? Thumbs up.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, Twister. Thank you, Keith. All right, next game.
Next game I might have on my list is a childhood favorite. I used to play at the pizza restaurant down the street, but it's The Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man, yeah. The art on that is real good.
It's a wide body that, it's a little slow, but it doesn't play like the typical super wide body of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The plastic spinner that spins 3 or 4 times, but it's just a fun, you're shooting the ball over the playfield. I love the plunge because there's so many different places the plunge can go.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that as my third overlooked game in the top 300.
That is a beautiful game, and it amazes me. So why? Okay, maybe that's the question. Why is this ranked so low? Like, what is the hate for this game? Because the theme's incredible, the art's incredible, it looks like a fun layout. So why? Why does this suck so bad? Apparently,
maybe people who haven't really played it, or the ones they played hasn't really worked very well. It is a Gottlieb, so.
Is it? Maybe it's just a plastic spinner that people hate. I don't know. I don't know why this game is ranked so low. It doesn't make sense. Hey, Tom, any insight on why? You have your finger on the pulse. Why do people hate this game? Why do people hate this game?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well, if we don't have an idea, then maybe that's a good example of a game that should be ranked higher. Travis knows. Yeah, Travis knows. Travis, you're on location with the Spider-Man fan club. Why do they hate this game?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They don't have good taste in games.
It only has one ball.
That's what I think.
It's not a multi-ball game. Oh.
Yeah. I believe it's from 78 or 79. So
I think 1980 is what it said. You're right there. Yeah. I legitimately have
just not enough people have played it. That's what it is.
I've considered buying either a replay like a repro backglass or playfield just because the art is so great. My son loves Spider-Man. I would happily buy that and just hang it in his room. Like that, it's that good. But that's one of those games that if your entire purpose in pinball is to have a game that looks good in your collection, just buy one of these. Just buy one. It's a beautiful looking game.
Joel, instead of asking us, you can just read these reviews.
I should. Oh, okay. Let me pull that up. While I'm looking at that, what's your next game? On where are the reviews? What's your next game on your list?
Next game is another Gottlieb. It is Genesis.
Oh yeah, that's another crazy art package. These reviews aren't so 6.5. It's not as fun as it looks, but other games I've owned of these here are more entertaining. Looks great, but mediocre gameplay. 4.7. Game is a bit boring. Great comic art. Playfield and glass well done. Yeah, just boring. Gameplay's pretty good. Nothing spectacular. Oh, here we go. 5.3 rating. Had this game for 12 years and looked at it off more than playing it. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Love the art on the playfield. The gameplay just never did it for me. The sounds drove me crazy. Too slow for me. Had fun playing it. Just didn't hold my attention. This guy's pinside profile picture is of Spider-Man. So this is a loyal Spider-Man fan.
I won't disagree with him. The sounds are pretty bad for the time.
Okay, brutal.
And being such a big wide body, it's going to be slow.
Yeah, I kind of want to click on this Star Wars Episode 1 reviews and see. No. So Genesis. Genesis, I know the art package is I know Genesis, the art package is insane. Like it is what a weird looking back glass that is. But why do you enjoy it, Keith?
I just love that there's like not one thing you're shooting at. You're trying to collect all the body parts. You're trying to get your multipliers, your playfield multipliers, and your multipliers when you're in multi-ball. So it was just a fun game for its time. It's Gottlieb weren't known for their great ramps. This is no exception, but at least they had ramps. A lot of their games from that time, the street level games, didn't have anything fun to shoot at. In this case, I thought it did.
Okay. Yeah, somebody streamed it, and I remember it being better than I thought. Like I was impressed with the way that you approach the game. Have any of you guys played Genesis in a tournament? Yeah. So
high stakes.
Oh wow. So what are your thoughts then, Tom?
I think it's a cool game. Like just basically what Keith said. You build the body parts, multipliers, and again, it's just a for a game from 1986, it's kind of a little bit ahead of its time. I think people probably dog it because of the artwork and the back glass.
Yeah. So if that game would have been like Universal Monsters Frankenstein, it would probably have.
Yeah, I mean, if it had
Metropolis.
Yeah, some kind of theme that was more grabbing, I think it would have. I think it would definitely be ranked higher.
Sure. Okay, I pulled up two Star Wars Episode 1 reviews that I think you guys will enjoy. Number one, the shots feel mind-numbing in this game, but the theme is pretty cool for Pinball 2000. And then this one here, played it at the Pinball office in UK. Honestly, this is comedically awful. It got one shot, way too many modes involving the inexcusable Jar Jar Binks. One mode involved Jar Jar Binks would be enough, and a mode about shooting Jar Jar in a foot was more than enough. One play was plenty. If you want a video / pinball combo, Revenge from End is way better. In summary, absolutely appalling. That was the Star Wars Episode 1 review. Okay, all right.
That sounds about right.
Yep, I got it. Yep, okay. Genesis, got it. Okay, next game, Keith.
All right, so the game I have is number one. Doesn't quite qualify because it's like 2 votes short. But it's one of my favorite campy all-time games, and that's Torpedo Alley.
Oh, Torpedo! Shout out Nudge Pinball. Nudge Pinball.
So it's sitting at 6.8, which puts it pretty low.
Yeah. Torpedo Alley. Why? Why do you like Torpedo Alley?
It's just the campy call-outs. It's blue. I love blue games. The sound system is great. David Thiel worked on it, so the music, the music pumps. It's kind of a unique layout with the upper flippers. It's kind of, weird spot that kind of just shoots nothing much. But I don't know. It's just to me, it's just a fun game to play.
So wait, you like that? There's a flipper that doesn't have anything to shoot at?
No, it does. It does. I mean, you can shoot the drops with it, or you can try to.
It's a tough shot.
It's basically what I meant. It's really hard to set up. The ball just has to kind of land there.
Got it. Okay. Because I was going to say, do you like Hobbit's third flipper, the upper right flipper on Hobbit? Yeah.
It's not like hot dogging with nothing to shoot, but
got it. Cool. Torpedo Alley. Yeah, Ian at Nudge Pinball has one, and he loves that game. Loves blue games. Got it. Okay. Keith's next game is blue. Confirmed. That's what I just learned. All right, Tom. Let's get to your list.
All right. I have Vector.
Ooh, that game. Yes, I like when I was first got into the hobby, that game looked really appealing because of the art and the displays, and I was like, this game looks really cool. And then you read reviews and people hate it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it is a lot of hitting the hype targets, but I like hitting. I like the fact that it has the drop targets that defend the ramp, and you got to hit them in order from left to right. I think that's really cool, and then you can lock balls. I just think for the era, 1982, it's just got a lot of stuff going for it.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly don't think it's like a top 100 game, but like for where it's ranked, I'm kind of surprised.
Sure. It shouldn't. Yeah. Keith, what are your thoughts on Vector?
They're a bit mixed. I do love the dual drop target banks blocking the ramp. I know the little timer feature. Yeah, upper playfield leaves a lot to be desired kinetically. And like you say, you're shooting hype targets a lot, but I do like it that it's so different. And then you got the saucer and the outlane that you can try to save it into. So it does have a lot of cool features.
Oh, I forgot about that. So yeah, that is fun.
And for its time, the game talked a lot. There's tons of speech in that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and doesn't it records? Isn't it say it's recording the speed of the like? That's slick. But
yeah,
cool. All right, Vector, got it, Tom. Travis, Vector, yeah. He's literally just pacing on his porch.
It's just thumbs up. Are you skateboarding right now?
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, he's good.
Oh no.
All right, Tom. Next one on your list.
I'm just walking
Thunderbirds.
back and forth.
No, just kidding.
No. Walking back and forth. He's getting his steps. Thunderbirds. Got it. No.
No. I'm just kidding about it. I did have Big Buck Hunter as my fourth game.
Okay. And was there anything about you walked up to with your dog?
I used to own one. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's not super exciting game, but I like the different multi-balls. You know, you got the buck running around, you got the elk that shoots out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's certainly not a top 100 game, but I think it's a good game for what it is. Especially
a top 200 game.
Especially that era. That was like the era where, you know, Stern was really downsizing. They let a lot of employees go, and you know, I think it's a decent game, so I think it deserves a little bump up.
All right.
Cool. My third one was Jungle Lord, just because I like Jungle Lord personally. I like the drop targets that change up top, and the multi-ball in the game, and then trying to go for the multiplier with the bonus. So, and then you got the Magna saves. So, I think it's a really neat game.
And the art. I know you love that. Once again,
I mean, that's what I go as Halloween every year. So,
yeah, I used to play Jungle Lord a lot as a kid. It's still fun. I think I remember one at District 82. I played a few times, and it's a great game.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine that he would just buy any pinball machine that was broken. That was his thing. He just liked to fix it up, and he got a Jungle Lord because it was cheap, and he brought it into his house, and his wife saw it. They have like 3 young boys, and his wife like, no, like get this out of that. Like that art package apparently is not he's like that. I wasn't expecting that to have crossed the line with Jungle Lord, but not an Elvira or something. Jungle Lord, but all right. Good choice. And then what's your last one?
I have 2 more.
Oh, yep.
My second one, this might not be a popular decision, but Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, okay. Keith is shaking his head in the right direction.
I think Wheel of Fortune gets a pretty bad rap. You know, it's got the offset flippers, which are kind of cool. It's got some cool modes. And the game was technically never finished. Doesn't have a finished wizard mode, but probably nobody can get to it anyways. Probably like 5 people. But I think it's a cool game. You know, that's...
I'm looking at it now. I've never played one. I've never seen one. Man, some of the art. Zencaster just popped up. Alert! Participant Travis is having a problem. just now warns me of that.
Hi, Travis.
Yeah. No, looking at the art is very colorful. And then there's like it's the 3 contestants. Those are interesting looking sculpts.
Yeah, they're like
wow.
They're bobbleheads basically, and you gotta hit them. For multi-ball, you have to hit a jackpot and then hit the contestants to relight them. So it's kind of cool.
What's going on below the flippers?
So
in the middle.
Yeah, that's basically ball saves, and you have to hit. There's a inline drop targets on the right that block a ramp, and you have to hit the first one to light your. It's called a free spin, like in the game show.
Uh-huh.
So if you fall down one of those lanes when it's lit, you get the ball back.
Wow, this is
so it's pretty unique play field.
It's a weird looking game. Yeah.
Kind of why I chose it, but
okay.
For the amount of money they go, I wouldn't mind owning one.
Okay. All right. And your last one.
I picked I went with a early solid state Gottlieb. I went with Sinbad.
Sinbad.
It's a pretty simple game, but I like the fact that there's the drop targets in the game. You have to hit them a certain way to get your multiplier up, and then it's just building up your bonus basically. So,
okay.
But it's not necessarily my number one in that grouping, but I tend to like that game, so I picked it.
Keith, thoughts on Sinbad?
Yeah.
4 flippers.
Well, I think the EM version's a little more fun.
Sure.
But yeah, no, that's a solid game. It's kind of Joker poker type rule set. Yeah, no, it's solid.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm not a fan of the system one, the sounds and the blue displays. If you can find an EM Sinbad, that's where it's at.
Well, that's probably a good transition then. The other thing was going to be your top EM games, and I will I'll tell you right now. I honestly, and I know you guys gave me crap for it in our messenger group, but honestly, I've played probably less than 20 EM games, and it's just because they're never on location. None of my friends have them in their collections, and so basically I have to play them at a show. And there's a handful and it's more like, oh, I've heard about this, so I should probably go ahead and play it. But I've just never experienced that. So please enlighten me. Keith, we'll start with you and your list. What do you feel are the top EM games? Hey everyone, sorry for the interruption. So we got this far into the episode, and we actually were moving on to what do you feel are EM games that are outside the top 100 that should get more respect. I told them I was going to set out from this because I don't really know any EM games, but Tom had a list of 5, and Keith had a list of 5, and shortly into Tom's list, we lost Keith. Or the conversation continued, but the recording of Keith we lost. So it just, like I said, if you've made it this far, thank you. I've done everything I can to salvage this episode, put it back together as best of my abilities. So all I can share at this point is that Keith's list of 5, so these are 5 games that are outside the top 100 that he feels deserve better, were Time Travel or Travel Time, Slick Chick, Monaco, 300, and Prospector. So those were Keith's 5. And then Tom, I listened to it this morning. I forget what he said. I know he said Doodlebug. I made fun of him for not saying volley because he should say volley as much as he loves that. There was something like Free Fall, I think was one. But unfortunately, I don't remember the other ones of Tom's. So yeah, that's basically it. We do close out the episode. I was able to salvage that little part. Keith's voice is not on there. but really it was just thanking him for being on that. So we'll go ahead and get to that point of the episode to close it up, plug away, and yeah, I appreciate everybody that that listened to this, and hopefully next round is or next episode is a little better. But thanks, guys. Well, cool. No, that was the game we wanted to play. I know, Travis, I don't know if you want to attempt. Is there any, if there's any game off the top of your head that you remember on your, no, he's not even going to, just shaking his head. I'm telling you, the amount of alerts that I'm seeing here of just, yeah. So we're just going to, I hope this all comes together. But Keith, I that's all I have, unless any of you guys have anything else you want to discuss. I bet Travis has plenty he wants to talk about. Just, oh man. This was something. This was something, but no, I Keith, very much appreciate you being on here. I assume we're going to hear a lot more from you in the next coming months. We're excited to see what that is. And yeah, good luck. Get some sleep. Hopefully everything goes well. Yeah, we're excited for you. Tom,
yes,
thank you for being here. Is there any plugs we can plug? I'll go ahead and plug for Travis. He'll plug this podcast. You can hear him here. Feel free to review all that. Thanks you for listening to Triple Drain. There was somebody on Facebook that actually posted a comment of like, what is your favorite pinball podcast? And there were a bunch of people that listed Triple Drain, and that was awesome. That was awesome to see and very humbling. So thank you for that. Solid plug, Travis. Tom, plug away.
I was going to plug for Travis the Pinball Company YouTube channel for him.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Okay.
He'll nod his head. Yep. Thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. Yep.
And then Fox Cities, you're welcome. You can Fox Cities Pinball. I do a lot of tournament streaming on Twitch and YouTube. So
thank you. Fox Cities killer merch too. New hoodie on what was that? What was that website?
Forever the Flip.
Forever the Flip. Check that out. If you want a very loud, bright hoodie that screams Fox Cities, that's what you need to check out. Keith, anything you want to say or plug? No, all good. Well, thank you, Keith, so much for being on here. I had a lot of fun. I think Travis has lost a few years off his life or hours. I mean, I can't imagine. Tom, it was awesome, man. It was really good to hear, it was really good to hear so much.
I finally got to talk. This is amazing.
Yeah. Wonderful. And yeah, feel free to check me out every Wednesday night on the Flipping Out Pinball or Flipping Out YouTube channel. We're streaming that. We should be streaming a new game here soon. Had a bunch of fun with Labyrinth. That was a lot of fun to stream, as well as Venom. But yeah, Zach's going to swap those out for 2 new games. So that'll be fun. Check all that out. And yeah, thanks for listening. If you guys have made it this far with this much technical difficulty, God bless you for still listening. So thank you. Like always, Tom, you get the last words.
Sorry, everybody.